Hello and welcome to a fast bonus episode of the Dumb and Dumbest podcast with Matt Bacon and Curtis Stewart, a music industry podcast where everything is terrible and the house is on fire.
Yeah. No wonderful.
Yes, the wonderful Curtis Stewart, the wonderful, very wonderful, glorious.
Yeah.
We love him. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Very nice. Got
Yeah.
my cat next to me. He's
Yeah.
very snuggly. I think he's low on food, so I might get yelled at halfway through this episode. And anyway, so today we wanted to follow up on our lovely conversation with our good friend Keith. Very solid guy, very important individual who brings a lot of value, I think, to the people listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
For those who are not aware, I am really committing to my transformation into Gary Vaynerchuk.
Work your fucking face off.
Is that what he sounds like to you?
No, he sounds like a hyper guy. I love his books. Don't get me wrong, but he's a bit of a dork the way he talks. But he's a great lot of stuff you can learn from him.
I happen to enjoy the way Gary Vaynerchuk speaks. Irregardless, we are now moving forward. We wanted to follow up on that really awesome interview we had this morning with him.
Yeah,
and so we are.
Gary.
He what?
It sounded like we were talking about Gary there, so I just want to clarify on the awesome interview we had with Keith. Yeah. I forgot how to pronounce his name again. Chakis?
Chachkis,
that's right. I can't do that. But anyways, sorry,
anyway.
Keith.
So, what were some of the big takeaways you had from this phone call? Or from that interview, I guess.
Well, here's the main one. Don't pester journalists on social media. That's one right there.
That's a good one.
Go through the ghost cult email. And that's a valuable lesson to take when you're dealing with any journalist, because a lot of people will just add people randomly on their social media, and like he also mentioned, you know, if you do that and you don't specifically state who you are and then you hit him up, he doesn't like that. And I think that goes with a lot of journalists too. So like, be professional in your conduct and go through professional channels when you're contacting a professional journalist is one of the main takeaways that I got out of it.
I would agree. I think you have to realize, here's sort of the weird thing about music journalism, is that those people are in extremely high demand.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that what they are doing, and they're aware that what they're doing doesn't really you could in 60 days go from being like some dude who works at fucking Starbucks to like. Mm-hmm. You can go in 60 days from being a dude who works at Starbucks to like someone who gets 300 emails a day, being asked to write about this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that sounds crazy, but like that's not a joke. Like, it's literally that, in that high demand, you know, and there's literally that few people who are like writing on any sort of level. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that's important to realize. What's your take on that, Mr. Doer?
I agree 100%. And I mean, if you look at it too, like Ghost Cult isn't like Metal Sucks or Metal Injection. I mean, I'm not saying they're small, but I mean, they're not even the top tier. So if you can imagine, like he was saying that he got, I think he said around 300 or 400 emails a day, if my memory is serving me correctly. Maybe I'm off on that. So just imagine what someone like Vince Neilstein or Stein, however you say it, Flex gets a day. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, the thing is, you still have to contact them through those channels and be polite about it and put in your subject line what you want specifically, you know, instead of just like a, hey, what's up reline or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because again, like these people are under, again, you have to just appreciate the basic psychology. And it's not that these people are, you know, angry or trying to screw you or anything, you know, quite the opposite. But they also like are just people who sort of like, most of the folks involved weren't like Keith probably has one of the stronger backgrounds of anyone I know doing music journalism.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
he does. I wasn't aware of some of the places that he used to work at. That was cool.
Yeah, no, but there, you know, but like at the end of the day, a lot of these people are just guys who like have jobs. You know, Did you hear my cat's little comment there? What he was sharing?
I can't hear you over the TV in the background. I got my kids blasting from YouTube right now.
Anyway, so that's very important when you're trying to grow your brand, all that good stuff.
Now, let me add one thing to that, though, too. So go through someone's professional email, and that's preferred. But at the same time, if you don't hear back and you really, really want to get covered by that publication, you don't want to give up. But there are some other things that you can try, like maybe reaching out to someone you know that might have a connection to that person is one thing. Or even going to the business Facebook and doing a direct message. Do not go to their personal page. But I'm not saying like give up, but only after one email, because obviously, if you're persistent, you get a better chance. You just don't want to be annoying about it. You want to be as professional as possible about it. Is my key thing I'm trying to say there.
Yeah, and also, I think what's important, like I can tell you right now, Keith is much more likely to write about you. Keith of the Synecdoche for writers in general. Keith is much more likely to write about you if you like comment on his shit.
Yeah, he did mention that. I was kind of surprised to hear that because it goes both ways. But I think because he did mention that if you comment on his stuff and you show that you've actually read the site, you're a lot more likely to get covered in Ghost Cult.
But like, it sounds really sad, but like, there are literally people who I consider my friends who I've never met. They just comment on my shit fairly regularly. And so they've like worked their way into my life, and I would totally like write about them.
Yeah, well, that's a key thing too. Like if you're commenting on the Facebook posts of other bands on that site's page, lots of people don't comment. So usually the editor in chief is one of the admins, or a writer is. They're usually an admin on the Facebook page or the Twitter page. So if they constantly see your name there commenting and making and saying relevant stuff, now I can hear your cat, by the way, saying relevant stuff on their Facebook page or their Twitter page, they're going to be more likely to open your email when it comes through too.
Yeah, and I think that's important. That ties into this is a short episode, but I want to talk real fast how that ties into one of my favorite Instagram strategies that I've actually been employing while filming this podcast. I've actually started grinding my Instagram while recording.
You're grinding it, eh? You're grinding those hips?
What you need to do if you want to get noticed on Instagram is literally take the 10 most relevant hashtags to you and fucking comment on the top 10 posts in each of those, and you will get more followers and your posts will get more traction. It's insane how well it works.
This is true. Now I have a question because I've recently
I was working on that this morning. It was fantastic. I usually get like 50 views in the first hour of a Bacon Spit. Today I got like 90.
Well, let me ask you a question, since you tend to do more on Instagram than I do. I mean, I'm not a total slouch on it, but
I place a lot of value on Instagram. Yes,
you do. I do too, but I'm not quite working it quite as much as you are. But my question is, I've recently started following hashtags of heavy metal, for example. That's the main one I'm
awesome
doing. Are you commenting like on every fucking Metallica and Pantera post you're seeing? Like, is that what you're doing?
No, I try to remember that my basic rule of promotion is going where people actually want to be promoted to, right?
Okay, so are you commenting on all those Metallica posts? Because it seems like that's
no. Those people are fucking stupid and don't understand. Okay. I am commenting on all the hashtag Stoner Doom posts.
Okay.
Because those people are looking. Those people are in bands. I'm commenting on all the DIY musician posts.
Okay. So you're niching down. You're not going to the general heavy metal Pantera type stuff.
I literally don't understand why you do that. Those people.
I don't know either. That's why I'm asking.
No, and I appreciate that. Yes, you need to suckle out the teat of my knowledge.
Well, I kind of did know, but I wanted to hear you say it for the benefit of our audience. But
okay, Curtis. I guess you weren't comfortable suckling at the teat of my knowledge. I see how it is.
When you start talking about teats of your knowledge, I kind of want to back off on associating with anything that I just talked about. So, anyway.
Keeping it professional.
Yeah.
Anyway,
for those of you who wish to suckle at Matt's teat, hit him up for some Instagram hashtags. He's been doing a great job with them. I actually heard someone say that they thought it was quite cool what he was doing.
There we go. That's very kind of you to say, Curtis.
You're welcome.
As we're heading towards the end of this particular episode of the Dumb and Dumbest podcast, we didn't get to plug anything on yesterday's episode because obviously
I got cut off today.
Yeah, we did get cut off because of the bullshit. Point being, what do you have to plug, Doer?
Well, I got a lot of stuff to plug, but if you'd like to hear to suckle at the teat of my knowledge, I just had to throw
All about suckling at your teats.
That's right. I had to throw that one in there. Today I had a couple of very cool albums released. Hessian released Mercenary Retrograde.
Great band.
Yeah, very cool. They're like almost like retro heavy metal.
Really
They're Venomous Maximus, actually, in a way.
Yeah.
Similar, but sort of different. But if you like Venomous Maximus, you'd like Hessian. They were a Fenris Band of the Week back in 2010, I want to say. Something like that. Anyway, it's very cool. It's like retro heavy metal. And then I had another band released today called Anisoptera. That's a death metal band. And the name of the album is Spawn of Odonata, I think is how you pronounce it. Death metal, technical death metal. Very, very cool stuff. Both bands have released today. Pick it up. And then tomorrow, Crucible of Hate is releasing their new album. They're very similar to Carcass, actually, old school Carcass.
Awesome. I'll have to listen to them.
What's that?
I'll have to listen to them. I love Carcass.
I really, really like them. They've gotten really solid reviews all the way around. So they're old school death metal, melodic death metal. Check them out. All three bands, love them. So anyways, that's it.
Awesome. Good. Please do hit me up for the hashtag list. We can bring you a lot of value very quickly. It also includes a social media plan that I think people have found has really helped them kind of up their game and increase their ability to hustle. Just look at the main hashtags in your genre and fucking pound them constantly.
There's also something else that Matt does I just want to bring up that isn't free, but is very, very cool. He's offering social media feedback. Is it $50 a week or $50 a month?
$50 a month. I clarified that to someone the other day. Monthly billing, weekly feedback.
So, yeah, he does a week. He'll give you feedback on your Facebook and Instagram. And keep in mind, this is a guy that's basically managed to grow a fairly sizable Instagram following and got himself jobs with Prophecy and Ripple. And you're only, 21 years old?
22. 22
years old. And he's worked with Exhorder, Tenger Cavalry.
United Exhorder.
Yeah. And I'm just saying that you're only 21 years old. And
22.
22. And you've managed to get yourself.
That's very kind of you to say, Curtis.
Positions. So I would take his feedback. The $50 a month is pretty cheap. So that's like $600 a year if you did it for a year. But even just $50 a month, you're going to get tons of value from that.
Yeah, it's something. I designed it as a way for any band to be able to kind of teach themselves to grow. I want to help you grow, because that means less work for me in the long run. It means I get to spend more time geeking out and learning about stuff and then bringing that to you. That's what I'm interested in, is bringing you value. And this is a lot more fun for me. And I think it's a lot more interesting, and it leads to some more productive conversations.
And I just want to bring up the fact again, he's only 21. He's managed himself jobs with
22.
Sorry, what am I saying? 21. Sorry, 22, and he's got managed himself jobs with Ripple and Prophecy, and worked with Exhorder. There, good guy to listen to. So I have thoroughly sucked at the teat of your knowledge tonight, Matt. Are we done yet?
Jesus fucking Christ.